this video is about this thing here because you all like her more than you like me. Isn't that right? Yeah. So I moved, and I haven't been online very much because I basically was getting ready to move for a few months because I like to be ahead of the game. But that's not what this is about. This should have been what it's about, but it's not what it's about. We'll do a tour later. So Iris has had some health issues. Like 3 days after I moved in, she was licking my leg, and I saw a white thing on the bottom of her tongue. And so I Googled, like everybody does, and it says, and it's like wart, cyst, cancer. And I'm like, fuck. So I contacted my friend who's her vet. He's like, bring her in tomorrow. And I'm like, bring her in. He looks, he's not sure. We think it's a cyst because it's like really smooth and round and white, and it's not like growing, and it's not wart looking, because she's also a little too old, like the papilloma virus. But also, and cancer tends to grow and change color. And so he's like, well, we'll just monitor that. And I'm like, okay. But he's like, but have you noticed how white her gums are? And I was like, what? And I look, and I'll attach a photo if I still have it. But yeah, her gums were just very white. So we do a blood draw, and she was at 20% on the red count, and 15 is the like severe danger zone. And I think he said we want them between 30 and 50. The good news was her white blood cells were still active and like making more, so it wasn't her body shutting down or anything in the same time. It was just something was happening. So we obviously, she's bleeding somewhere. And I already had a hint of that because her poo had been turning black. And I had let him know, because this food I gave her twice, it's a stupid long story. She had hookworm like a couple months ago from like inhaling, where they did some digging up where some rats had chewed through the old place, and she got the hookworm. Nearing the end of it, and she also got vaginitis from the diarrhea from the hookworm. So she's been having a few shit months, man. No pun intended. But I gave her this new food, and this is not saying it's a bad food for dogs that don't have issues. So if I use the brand name, it's not me saying they're a bad brand, but I think it's too rough on her. It was like Supreme Nature, I think. I got it at Safeway. And I fed it to her, and I noticed her poo started turning black. And I told my vet, he's like, well, we kind of just assumed maybe it's some leftover blood in the digestive tract from the hookworm, or just really high iron food, or her, it's just taking a while to come out because she's a little slow on digestive right now. Because she otherwise was fine. She was eating, she was happy, she, blah, blah. So we get through the food, put her on a new food. The black poo goes away. We move here, and I start it again, and her poo turns black again. And I was like, oh yeah, this happened last time, so maybe it's just high iron in the food, maybe they use beets, I don't know. And the vet's like, maybe. So when I take her in, so then I took her in for the other thing, and we know she's anemic, so we realized that black poo was like blood from internal bleeding. So we get her into radiology the next day. I spent $1,200 in 2 days on this dog. Love you so much. Don't. And we get her to radiology. She's prioritized because she's bleeding. She's got a nice little shaped belly right now. I wish you could see it. They find a growth in her duodenum. It's only 0.95 millimeters. So the duodenum is between 2.5 and 3 centimeters. So it's like not even half it's not even like half of the size of it, but it's still a blockage. But they believe that's what's causing the laceration and the bleeding. So they do unfortunately, oftentimes that's gonna either be, my vet immediately was like, I think it's lymphoma. I think it's gonna be lymphoma. I just got a bad feeling. And I'm like, stop it. Stop telling me this. I cannot take this right now. So I'm like crying at work quietly in the dark, working on people's shoulders because my dog is dying. My service dog at that. And I'm just like, no, my baby, and, they do a fine needle sample and that thing. So I waited like a day for the samples, and he calls me, and every time he calls me, I can hear it in his voice if it's bad or not. And it sounded like he wasn't sure when he agreed to me. He's like, I got some really frustrating news. I'm like, what? He's like, the sample was too small to get a conclusive result. He's like, in the sample that we got, we didn't find cancer cells, but he's like, that doesn't mean there isn't cancer. It means it's not a big enough sample to know for certain that there is or isn't cancer. Well, personally, I'm going to assume she doesn't. And you're going to find out why here in a bit. And he asked them, can they do another sample for like half price, because that was like $800 something, and to get nothing from it besides knowing there's a growth that we already know she's bleeding. Like, so they say yes, we could give her one for like half price. They're like, but you're gonna get the same result because it's just so tiny. We are not gonna be able to get a better sample. So he's like, so we don't do that because what's the point? And so my vet basically says, so you have two options. He's like, it's going to cost a lot for one of them. It's going to cost a lot for both. He's like, you could get an endoscopy where they can, tube down and get it, and we can do it then, but that's $5,000, if not, $6,000, and because it's not going to be at his practice, it would have to be with someone else. So I don't get discounts with other people. As cute as she is, and she deserves all the discounts. That face, right? That face right there deserves all the discounts. And I can't do it right now. So I'm not sure if I want to find a way to save up that money and do it, but with the new place and needing to pay rent and everything else, it's put me in a shit spot. And there's more to it than just the money. So the next option would be, he's like, I can do the surgery with the other owner, and we can go in and cut out that section of duodenum and connect the small intestine back together. He's like, but it's a high risk surgery. He's like, and I did some research on it. Besides all the blood vessels around it, the intestine does not like to stitch back together, and it has a higher chance of not doing it right and then leaking out into the cavity and then sepsis and all that. Now, the problem with both of these is, despite how cute she is, she's almost 13. So she's not a young dog. So I'd be putting her through I have to put her in, put her under. We have to, it's a lot for a dog her age. Hold on. Oh, no. God. Sorry, my mom, I just saw a text from my mom pop up saying something about did grandma fell, and I was like, wait, what? She didn't fall. She's good. Anyway, so so that's a lot of trauma on her. Now, if I can, I'm going to try to put some money aside and maybe I'll do a donation stream or something and try to put money aside to, make the money to go get because the endoscopy is less dangerous than the one. Because if they can just take it out, but here's the next problem. If it's cancer, there's nothing I can do, because I'm not putting her through chemo at 13 years old. I also could not afford, however many thousands of dollars is per session we have to do. And even my vet said, don't do that. He's like, it's not worth it to her. It's not worth it. It's not at her age. And I always told myself, because I love her and I would die for her, but when I worked with dogs, I watched so many of my clients keep their dogs alive for themselves and not for the dog, because it wasn't saving them, it was just prolonging their pain. And I promised myself that if she got sick when she was like over 12, like over 10 technically, but I kind of pushed it to 12 because she was doing really well in her life. But I kind of promised myself that if she got cancer, I'm not going to put her through chemo. I'm not going to put her through a bunch of surgeries. I'm going to make her comfy, and we're going to do whatever we can. So if we did get the money and we do the endoscopy and we find out it's lymphoma, we would do high dose steroids to try and put her in remission to give her a few more years. But if she crashes, sorry. But if she crashes, which is one of my biggest fears of waking up to my dog dying, I have to make that call. But she's old, so it's hard. Again, I want to believe it's a polyp or a non-cancerous tumor. We're old, we grow them, right? I grow cysts all the time. I mean, you can see I grow tumors. You can see like little scars I have, and there's like one here that I still need to get removed, and I had one removed on my neck. I've had them removed from my hip. I grow tumors. They're not cancerous. Have I grown one inside my body? No, not inside an organ. I may have a tooth growing in my sinus cavity though. But so yeah, we're monitoring her right now, and we've been stemming the bleeding. So she's right now, besides really bad joint pain, which we just gave her a Librela shot for, so hopefully that'll help. You know, she still eats, she still wants treats, she still, you know, she's more tired, but she's anemic, so I might have to look into, is there iron pills for dogs? She's just sitting there going, I don't know what's going on, I'm just tired all the time. Hi babies, I love you. Hello babies, I love you. I love you so much. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what's going on in my world. Constant circle of, is my dog old or is my dog dying? I mean, technically they go hand in hand, because if she's old, she's dying. We're all born dying. What did my teachers say? Life is a sexually transmitted disease and it's fatal. Like 100% fatal. Yeah, so yeah, I'll keep people updated on if she's okay or not as I know, and I'm gonna, you know, if we can't fully stem this bleeding, I will have to consider the endoscopy once I can get the money for it, because I'm good at saving, and if I have to, I will. I'll put a thing in my office and just be like, please donate to my duck surgery. Here's a Venmo check. Yeah, so we'll see, because that would be, because I think, now I would only do that though if they can take out the whole thing, because if they're just going in for a sample, like, that's not helping me, or she's still bleeding and she's still dying and I'm not paying $5,000 to not change the situation, because there's no point in that. If it's an endoscopy where they go in and they slice the whole thing off and they take it, they test it, and they go, she does or does not have cancer, but we now have got rid of the thing that is causing the bleeding, and we can continue to get it to heal, or work with it until it fully heals, at least then she would be feeling better. So yeah, I have had a lot on my mind the last couple weeks because of her, because that beautiful dog there. And I don't, I'm gonna unplug this and we're gonna go closer to her. She hates me right now. Not literally, but she hates me because she hates the medication that I have to squirt in her mouth 3 times a day to like coat the wound. And then my vet friend came over last night and gave her the Librela shot in the scruff. But if the Librela works, it cuts off the nerve path receptor to her brain that says you're in pain, basically. She won't feel the pain in the arthritic joints anymore, which are caused because she tore both her back legs when she was young. Let's go say hi. Let's go say hi. What you do? Hello. I love you. Oh, thank you so much for the kisses. Your breath stinks though, so bad. This is all love. Yeah. Ready? Hi. I love you. Boop, boop. Yeah. I mean, you'd never be able to tell she's sick if you didn't. No, you just think she's old and tired. But, see, she's gonna hate me now more. Let's put this here real quick and see if we can see your gums today. Yeah, she already knows what I'm doing. Here, let me see. Yeah, so those are kind of pale. And we don't like pale. We don't like pale at all. No, but they're not white, which they were that day in the vet. Boop, boop. I love you. Blah. Okay, anyway. Anyway, so yeah, that's my life. I'll keep you updated, and hopefully we can just get the bleeding stemmed and she'll start feeling better. And it's not cancer and she doesn't crash. And if she does, well, fuck. I will be on here crying my ass off letting you all know she died. We don't want that. Okay.